Alright, first off, you want to start off putting on all your personal protection equipment, safety glasses, and gloves. After that, we have our mold, which is the cope and drag. Cope being the top, drag is the bottom. We're going to start with the drag, which does not have the pins on top of it. So flip it over, and then you're going to put your parting powder into the mold. After that, you'll start putting the sand in. When you start with the sand, you want to just sprinkle it in at first. That's going to get the fine details of the pattern into your mold. So sprinkle some sand in. And then use your fingers to push that down into the mold. Once you get a good little layer in there, I'd say probably about an inch to an inch and a half of sand. So we're going to use our ram to compress the sand over the mold. You just want to go around the edges, making sure it's really tight. This is what's going to cause the mold to put pressure to stay in during the pour. You can just pile in some more sand. We want to fill up the rest of the side of the flask. You can either just use your hands or go ahead and ram this part down too. It's important to make sure this side of the flask is flush, so that way it's sitting level during your pour. So make sure your sand comes up over the edges initially, and then we'll use the scraper to make sure it's completely flat. Alright, now that we got this side flush, it's completely done, we're going to flip it over and work on the cope side of the mold. Lift it up, flip it down, making sure to hold pressure to keep it together so you don't get parting or shift in your mold. You're going to put your parting powder on again. And repeat the same process, sprinkling in the sand at first to get the detail. And pushing it in with your fingers to fill up all of those cavities. Like I said, get a good inch, inch and a half, and then you can ram it in. Once again, starting with your outside first, hold that pressure. And we can just start piling it in there. Here again, we'll fill it up over the top of the flask. Ram it down in again. Our scraper tool to level it off. When it scrapes off, push down any loose sand on top because you don't want it to fall down in your porthole once you lift this flask up. Alright, now we have it done. We're going to lift the coat, wipe off the pattern. Try to come straight up, not to mess up your mold cavities. Set it off to the side for a minute. Brush off any loose sand off the pattern. And then do the same. Put your fingers on the pins and pull straight up. Move away as to not add any more sand to your mold. At this point, you're going to lift the coat back up and just come right back on down straight on top of it. Try not to drop any loose sand into your mold. Now it's complete. Now that we have our mold complete, move over to the pour station. You're going to line your mold up and try to get it close to where you're going to pour. You want to let a couple of drips come down to see where you're actually hitting, and then when you get ready, let it go. You want to pull forward without stopping at all during it. So I'm almost lined up here. I'm going to move over. Drip this one last time, and I'm going to come over. And just let it go. You want to fill it all the way up to the top so that way you can completely fill your mold without getting shrink in your casting. And move it out and let it solidify. Now that you have your mold poured, move over here to the shakeout station. The casting has solidified. So now we're going to pick it up, open it up inside of here. Maybe. Separate your mold.
Do you want to start again?
There it is. There it is. Got your castings out. Knock out your sand. For the next person. Now it's done. Use utensils to grab the mold because it's still pretty warm. After shaking out your casting and you've got a hold of it, you want to cut off your gating as close to the mold or close to the casting as you can, so that way you have less finish work with the files. You have now made your first casting. Now you're shaking out your casting and cut off all your gating. You're going to move your casting to the vices, lock them down, and file off the rest of your gating. Try getting it as close to the casting as possible. Brush it off with smooth wool, get your surface finish. There's the little pack of key, the key to your future.